thank you so much for joining me again. Facebook Live now on the Mindset group, and I'm absolutely loving life. Tim and I really enjoy it. Tim's particularly started to I was always loving it, but Tim's now been dragging him onto the camera recently. He's been enjoying it. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. Tonight we're going to be talking about the green-eyed monster, about living your life in an imaginary shadow of other people's lives. And we're going to be explaining how and why you should not do this, because it will basically poison you, is my argument. But I want to give you some really good stories and illustrations and some tools about how to overcome this practice. It's completely normal, it's completely human, but we are trying to survive. We're trying to thrive, not survive, aren't we? This is what our whole mission is in the Mindset group. We don't want to be putting up with any of this lizard brain shit. So say hello if you are with me tonight. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're watching live, and then please do drop a 2 as well if you're watching not live. I absolutely love, as I said last week, I love eating my breakfast, seeing that you are eating your breakfast, and watching the Facebook Live in 3.5 days time. So please do let me know. It really gives back to me and makes me feel that this whole thing is having some kind of impact. So I hope you are with me tonight. I hope you're ready and I hope you're strapped in, because it is going to be quite a challenging one. I want you to keep an open mind, and I want you to get ready to discard some more trash, some more mindset trash. Right there, Tim's just changing the lighting. I hope I look all right. So let's start. I wanted to break down this talk, usual kind of half an hour talk. I want to break it down into 2 areas. The first area is kind of the why. It's a little bit about the what, and then it's basically the why. Why the hell should you do as I'm asking and drop the bullshit comparison? And then I want to move on to, and Tim's going to primarily do this, how, and I hinted at this last night in my Facebook Live, how we are going to use the superpower of discarding our bullshit comparison. How are we going to use that as leverage all the energy you've pent up thinking that everyone else has got their shit together? How are we going to use that to propel ourselves and to improve our own business? So I just wanted to give a little hint there, because there's something super practical for you guys in this as an output from this Facebook Live. So keep your listening ears on, because that's so patronising. I'll say to my 4-year-old, keep your listening. Anyway, I'm sorry for patronising you. I hope you'll stay with me as we go through this wonderful journey of discarding comparison. So a little bit about what it is, first of all. So I said the green-eyed monster. I don't really want to use the term jealousy. I feel like that's kind of term from my childhood, from like the 80s or 90s. You know, it's like super judgmental. Yeah, you know, maybe the dictionary definition is jealousy, but jealousy suggests that there is fault and that there is blame with the person who's doing it, that they are somehow, you know, twisted, and, you know, they're jealous old hag in the corner. And it's like, no, dude, you are actually human if you look at other people and compare yourself to them. It's completely human and normal. So what does it look like? I want to start with a story. So a few weeks ago, actually, maybe a couple of months ago max, I was in the local spa, as in to buy my bread, not having a massage. And I was speaking to one of the local mums of, her little boy is in the same class as Jasper, my 4-year-old. And she saw that I was carrying Jasper's reading bag, and she said, has Jasper got his blue words yet? And I was like, I just went into like a spiral, because first of all, I didn't really know what she was talking about. I knew she was talking about like reading and his kind of progression on his reading journey. But she was like, oh, has he got his blue words yet? And I was like, oh God, I don't know. No, I don't think so. And then I started thinking, oh my God, I'm such an appalling mother. Like, I don't even know whether he has the blue words, what the significance of the blue words is. You know, I know he's got some yellow words. And I just went into a shame spiral. But actually, more than that, the thing that really kind of settled on my brain once I kind of got over the shame of it, the motherhood shame, is I started thinking about her son, and that he was clearly she told me he had the blue words. And the spiral continued until a couple of weeks ago when I went into Jasper's parents' evening, and I said to the teacher, I literally said to her, I try not to live in comparison, but is Jasper okay with his reading? Because, Jim's mum, I won't reveal his name, Jim's mum said that Jim has the blue words, and I don't know, Jasper doesn't have the blue words. And interestingly, did you notice I just slipped up there? I just said, I was about to say that I don't have the blue words. And that's the whole thing. It's like, even though I'm putting this I'm using this as a kind of a comparison for Jasper, my 4-year-old, actually I'm totally making it about me. I'm worried that my child isn't at the right stage of reading. And I think that's what we do so much of the time with these mindset issues, is we're making it all about us. And that's the other thing about living in comparison. I actually think that if our friends who we compare ourselves to, who we look at the Facebook pictures of and we think, oh God, they're having, amazing cars and holidays and their business is rocking and they're so beautiful. If we were to look at them in a vacuum, it's just them and it's nothing to do with us, we would probably be like, oh great, well done. I'm so pleased you're going to Barbados every 5 seconds. I'm so pleased you've got a house in Portugal. But actually, why we struggle with comparison so much is that the fact that they have the house in the holiday in Barbados and we don't, makes us feel that we are somehow less. The reflection of their glory casts a shadow over us. We say to ourselves, why am I not on that track? What's wrong with me? What have I missed something? Like, what? How is she even affording that? Like, we're both nurses, we're both on the same stage. We've both got aesthetic businesses that are sort of fairly new. How is she going to Barbados? Have I missed something? Oh my God. So should I be doing Instagram better? Oh God, this is another thing. She's got 1,500 followers. I've only got 37 and 15 of those are my friends and another 15 are just other aesthetics businesses. Only 7 people are real clients. I'm never going to get anything with it. And you just go into a classic lizard brain spiral when you start looking and fall into other people and falling into their shadow. So I don't know whether anyone else can kind of do me a little if they ever have any of those kinds of thoughts, like, oh, they're loving life, they are they're rocking it with their holidays and their cars, and I heard the other day, I heard someone had paid off their mortgage. It was a client, and she was considerably older than me, and I still had a tinge of like, oh, I'm not going to pay off my mortgage for 25 years or something. It's just like, don't do it, it's stupid. So that's an example of the kind of thing that we do. And what I want to say about living in comparison is a lot of the other states that we've talked about in this Facebook Lives, procrastination, lack of confidence, depressive states, angry states, stories that we tell ourselves, living in comparison and comparing ourselves to others is like the fertilizer that supports those states, or it's one of the fertilizers. It's a little bit of poison for you to drop into your life. However many times you check your phone during the day, however many times you go on Instagram, however many times you go on Facebook, if you allow yourself to live in comparison, you are literally dropping fertilizer, and they use fertilizer in bombs, don't they? You're literally dropping little bits into your life just to enhance those negative states, just to feed your procrastination even more. Who amongst us has not procrastinated by going on a fecking rabbit hole down a competitor's website? Oh God, they've got an amazing website. Oh no, they're doing Facebook. Oh my God, they're doing Facebook ads. I don't even understand it. Oh my God, that's it now. They're doing Instagram. Oh my God, they've done Instagram. Rabbit warren. Who amongst us has not done that? In fact, drop me a 3 if you have gone down a competitor rabbit warren comparing yourself to someone else, whether it's through social media or Facebook or website or whatever. So by doing that, we're dropping a little bit of poison. That's the kind of thing that you can procrastinate with. That's the kind of thing that's going to destroy your confidence. So imagine if you are trying to get more confidence. You've got your warrior pose. You've got yourself your persona. You're trying to really draw out what you like about yourself and where you are in your best place. And now you go on to your friend who's got that holiday in Barbados and also has 3 beautiful children who don't ever seem to cause any problems in her life. There she is, lauding it up on Facebook, you know, or now you've gone to a wedding and you're there, and your cousin, who's a similar age to you, is there with her amazing partner, and you haven't got a partner right now, and your gran comes up to you and it's like, oh, Sue's got a boyfriend. Where's your boyfriend, Jean? No, not Jean. Let's not get involved, Jean again. Where's your boyfriend, Debbie? You haven't had a boyfriend for a while. Is everything all right? Are you a lesbian? Just made that up. That's the kind of thing grans say, you know. And it's like when you allow your gran to get in your head and get you to compare yourself to your cousin Julie, I've forgotten her name already, you know, what we are doing there is we are allowing ourselves to lower our confidence on a day-to-day basis. So you're literally, like every single day, dropping a little bit of poison into your water, into your intention to max out your mind, improve your mindset, improve your life, and get peace. You know, you can't have peace if you're looking at Debbie, oh, she keeps changing her name, this cousin. If you're looking at your cousin and worrying about the fact that she has a house in Abersock, you know, that's going to drop poison in your life. Another one is like, so let's say that you have procrastinated with comparing yourself to others, then you drop your confidence, and soon enough, you start feeling more and more powerless, and you end up in a depressive state, in the fetal position, on the kitchen floor. And so it's a full circle, you know, it's like comparing yourself to others has a massive impact, and we cannot underestimate it. So how do you get out of it? 2 things to get out of it. Tim's going to tackle the second mostly, and I'm going to tackle the first. And the first one is a massive effing wake-up call. So listen up. It may have occurred to you already, but I want to shove it down your throat, ram it down your throat until you accept it as gospel. No one has their shit together in the way that you think they do. Okay? No one does. Like, you're comparing yourself to a fucking fake idol. It doesn't exist. These people are cardboard cutouts in terms of how you perceive them. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, you might look at me and be like, oh, Miranda, don't say to me you haven't got your shit together. You know, you've got a great business, a lovely husband, you know, and you're doing Facebook Lives on a Wednesday night. So yes, in those 3 respects, I do have my shit together. But when I think I posted that, well, I did post a picture earlier with an ad on Facebook, trying to lure you guys into this Facebook Live. And it was a picture of me in Cyprus when Jasper was 5 months old. And it was me literally looking like a complete queen on a sun lounger with an infinity pool and just amazingness, you know, in Cyprus horizon. And the reason I want to stress this point about the fucking bullshit that you think that these people are casting a shadow over you is that, yeah, I put that picture up, you know, however many years ago it was, 4 years ago. I put that up, I was proud of that. I've also subsequently put it up on my Instagram posts a couple of times. I will continue to provide you with beautiful images, but it is for you, it's your responsibility to challenge them. My life at that time was anything but shit together. It was way before my personal development. I had a 5-month-old. I was stressed to the fucking rafters, bringing Jasper into work with me every single day, working a 70-hour week with a 5-month-old, literally a 70-hour week with a 5-month-old. At that time I had a tricky staff situation which really knocked my confidence. I would never have thought of myself as a leader at that time, which is my major aspiration now. You know, it was bloody hard. Tim and I were literally leaving the clinic at 9:20 at night. Tim's dragging me away from my desk. You know, I'm having like mini breakdowns sort of fairly frequently. And that picture of me in Cyprus in a bloody hard holiday, you know what it's like with baby going on a holiday where it's too hot and, you know, it's just kind of family tensions and you bloody like breastfeeding in front of your dad and it's all a bit, you know, it's just like, it was not a simple holiday and yet it looks like complete perfection. And I promise you, I will continue to put that picture up and it's for you. I will try not to deceive you, but it's for you to call bullshit on your perception, your perfect perception of that life. We are, when I see someone else and I'm in comparison, I am totally imposing that. I am projecting my image onto them of their perfect life. Another example is my friend, in fact, just before I go on, does anyone else sort of like have this total like social media envy where they're just like, can, you know, just let me know, guys, where you're literally just like, oh god, drooling over other people's social media. Give me a whoop if you are. Another example was even worse. 2 years ago, I think, my friend came up from London and she was like, dude, I just love your Cheshire life. It's so nice, you know. You guys are always like on Facebook. You guys are always in your wellies down by the lake, loving life. You know, just your children are so beautiful, and your husband's an amazing photographer, and you know your life is amazing. And I was like, but I'm never gonna put bad pictures up. Like, in what world? And I was depressed at the time, literally. Like, in what world am I going to put up an appalling picture of the morning when my son refuses to get out of bed, and then he spills cereal down him when he's watching TV whilst eating cereal, which he probably shouldn't do, makes me a bad mum. You know, it's like all these things happen, and then he refuses to put his pants on, and he's like bloody showing me his willy in a weird, inappropriate way. You know, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's my life, not the beautiful, like, we have those amazing moments. They are real. We have amazing moments by the lake. But actually, the other stuff is so real too. And it's your job to put a bullshit filter in front of your face so that you do not let those images penetrate you and take you off course for your goals. Because that's what you're doing by accepting that as truth. A final story before I move on and move on to Tim. Tim and I were in Tenerife in October, and we were in, I don't know whether anyone's been to the Siam Park, isn't it? The fab, amazing water park, which I loved. And one of the other big things there is like a zoo. It's kind of like a zoo, but it's just like a whole other level of zoo. It's absolutely amazing. And we were kind of knocking around this zoo. And you know what these zoos are like? It was really kind of progressive, lovely zoo. It wasn't like cages and stuff. And there was this gorgeous kind of bit with some vines hanging down as kind of like a gardeny bit. And we were walking along, you know, pushing the pram and kind of doing sort of family days, running after our children as they screamed and cried for ice creams and stuff. And as we went past in this kind of totally unserene scene, we walked past this girl and her, I think, sister. The girl must have been in her late teens. She's an attractive girl, and she was having her sister taking a picture of her on her phone, and the girl had like kind of vines behind her, but we were, just bear in mind, we were in a zoo, not in the jungles of South America, and she was literally like this, having this photo taken, you know, something like that. And so she was kind of attractive, and she was like, no, a proper bona fide Instagram picture. And it was absolutely hilarious because she was blatantly trying to make out that she was like a travel blogger or something like that. You know, like, oh, I'm just in the jungle in Belize. Don't mind me. I'm just looking very beautiful in a jungle in Belize. It's like, no, you're not. You're in fucking Tenerife with your parents, and you've gone for a day trip to the zoo. You know, like, I don't know whether your 20,000 Instagram followers are gonna be getting that shit, but I knew the truth, and we were like, what is going on? Like, it was so weird to us because we were observing it. I mean, part of me just thought, great, love, you know, winning at life, you know, you've got to fake it till you make it a bit. But what I actually, my blame is not on her, just as it's not on me for putting up the Instagram picture of me looking, you know, serene in Cyprus. The blame is not with the perpetrator of the slight fakery. The blame is with us. It is our choice how we perceive the world. And it is our choice what we let into our brains and how we process things and how we allow things to either penetrate us or not penetrate us. We have to take responsibility. Do not let faker is a bit harsh, but do not let these images.
You're getting a really good response from that. You don't know yet, but everyone's dying.
Yeah, because they all know it to be true. And anyway, let's use her. Okay, let's use her. Let's call her something. What should we call her? Elise. No, let's call it something memorable.
I can only think of Jean. Sorry.
No, Jean. It wasn't Jean. Gina, maybe. I'm going to call her Athena, the goddess of something or other.
Zeus.
Not Zeus. No, Athena is too... Oh, I don't know. Let's call her Athena, because I don't think any of us will be called Athena. Athena, what she was doing is that she was constructing her world. So when you see your cousin at the wedding who's got this gorgeous hunk of a partner and you haven't got a partner at the moment, when you see your friend Debbie who has gone to Barbados for the 3rd time this year and you just can't get your head around how it's happening, when you see your friend, when you see, oh my God, the worst thing is when you are going to your local salon to get your nails done and they always said they didn't want aesthetics and they said no to having you in there. But now you see a poster up on the wall and they've got another aesthetic clinician. How many of us have had a heart sink moment, like a serious heart sink moment when we see that? When we are comparing ourselves to others, we have to think to ourselves, really, Athena? Really? Is that your life though? Are you in a jungle in Belize? You're in a zoo in Tenerife, Athena. You're in a zoo in Tenerife. So just say to yourself, really? And honestly, guys, like, do it to me. You know, when I post another picture on Instagram, which I always try to say, my message on Instagram is always super authentic, but I will put a picture of my beautiful child, then what you can do is you can say, really, Miranda? Like, totally comment on my, really, Miranda? I mean, you know my comments are always super authentic and I tell you how I'm struggling that day or whatever and how I overcame it. But if I put a picture up of my beautiful child, feel free to challenge me and I will come back to you and say, yes, the picture is possibly not the most accurate representation of reality today, but you don't want to see my reality today. Yeah. I think, to be fair, like if Athena has zoomed out, or Athena's sister has zoomed out to like some slightly grossy looking lion. That's really tickled me. You know, there'd be like some lion go. Anyway, if she zoomed out, we wouldn't want that, you know? Instagram is a magazine. I want beauty in my magazines. I want Athena, you know? But I need to call bullshit when it starts to affect my mental health. So, call bullshit on Athena. Really? Okay. Right, I'm going to hand over to Tim. I'm just going to intro it. So the second stage of this process is, first of all, you've got to call bullshit on this comparison. And the second thing is that you need to think to yourself, in fact, I just wonder whether you should just go for it. Sorry, let me say one thing, which is the more that you spend time and precious energy comparing yourself to Athena, the less you can let your inner goddess out.
It's really high pressure following you. I'm going to have to do it.
Oh, do an Athena pose.
Let me first start, like, without being a spoil sport, I'm not into the magic, you know, I'm not really massively into the secret stuff. I'm into neurology. I want to know why this is a good thing to do to your brain. If you want to change your perception of something, why is that a good thing? Why should we not look at people and think, wow, look at their life, it's so much better than mine? And the reason is because it's about being in a resourceful state of mind. And if you ever look back to a moment where you made a big decision, possibly the moment that you first booked your training with us, that moment where you decide, I'm going to call, I'm going to put that money down and I'm going to go for it, you almost certainly were in a positive, excited state. You were thinking about all the possibilities of what could happen. You weren't thinking about all the things you couldn't do and all the things you failed at. You were thinking about all the things you have done and all the things you've succeeded at. And that is something, that's a brain state that you can actually control when you become conscious of it. So those days when you're looking at your competitors and thinking they've got it all sorted and I haven't, and this is a sign that I'm basically a failure, which I think is the kind of what Miranda's linking at, is the unconscious message, is you're kind of punishing yourself that your life isn't like that. The worst thing about that is it's probably the least likely point at which you're going to come up with a new creative idea to actually move things forward. So you should. The reason not to do it is because when you're in a positive, excited state about all the things you have achieved, that's when you're going to make a big decision about what you're going to achieve next, and that's when your motivation is going to go up, and your ability to execute and make new things happen is actually going to happen in those positive states. So by all means, stalk your competitors for inspiration, but don't let yourself fall down that hole of I'm never going to do that and I'm not good enough to do that, because that is just going to limit you. And of course, there are more competitors you can look at who are failing. I mean, you won't find them because they've only got 0 Instagram followers or they haven't opened their account, but you're oblivious to those people. you're oblivious to how much you have achieved in those moments, and it just makes you feel worse and less likely to move on. So it's all about maintaining a positive brain state so that you can execute on something new and actually feel powerful rather than feel negative. And actually, just before I came on, I happened to let YouTube playing, and there was an exercise that you could maybe try to do this, which is to actually put yourself, and you could all do this now.
Yeah, do it now.
This is actually often done at conferences, which is awkward, but now you're all by yourself, hopefully. Actually just think of a moment that you are really proud of when you achieve something. So this can be anything. It can be when you're brave enough to ask someone on a date, or it can be, the moment that you got into university, or the moment of graduation, or the moment of teaching your child something that you think you've done really well. It doesn't matter what it is, but a moment of pride about your capabilities, and we all have them. And if anyone is saying that you don't have one, well, you need to look hard, because everyone has something to be proud of that you've achieved, and it doesn't matter how small. If it was significant to you, that's all you need. And in that moment, really start to feel how proud you are of it. Really start to think about all that you had to do, all the stuff you overcome to make that thing happen, all of the fear that you had to put aside, all of your own self-doubt, whatever it is that you've chosen. Try and kind of build upon that feeling that you did something amazing that you're proud of, and actually really feel that moment. And in that moment, that feeling which hopefully you're getting now of your own power, that's the feeling that we're after all the time. Like you need to feel that you're capable and powerful as much as possible, because in that state, that's where the magic happens, and all this other stuff actually drags you away from it. So yeah, that's kind of, we'll come back to that many times because it's a really interesting thing, and I still haven't mastered it myself. One more thing to say about imagining other people's lives is, I was laughing so much during that presentation because I know in the past I've done it, I still do it occasionally, but I certainly have done it with probably the doctor I look up to most is Roger Killer. And he would always come to our clinic and train our doctors, and always looked amazing in his suit. And he's always got off a first class plane. And I used to have this...
Raj!
And his Instagram is like ridiculously like glitzy and shiny. And I used to have this catchphrase of every time something bad happened, I would always say to Miranda, I bet Roger Killer doesn't have to do that. I remember once clotheslining myself outside a salon, like I slipped on some ice. I come to the salon and I slipped on the ice and with my shoes and just landed on my briefcase and I think broke a rib. And I just remember thinking, Raj. But it's that kind of, it doesn't matter, because obviously there are lots of other doctors I could compare myself to at the other end of the spectrum who've never made anything of their aesthetics, but I chose to hammer myself with that. And it's just ludicrous because his life is, I don't know much about it, I'm sure it's as complicated as anyone else's, and we all post this filtered image, but I do it, and then the strange thing that happened to me is people started to speak to me like I was Roger Killer, like my life is all sorted and everything is, and that was one of the reasons that my blurb in the Skin Viva webpage is always remember everyone else, everyone you meet is in a battle. It's that lovely saying, I've seen it shared on the Lip Masters group and by Neil. I don't know if you'll watch this, but that sense, that really hit home to me because people were speaking to me like I would have spoken to Roger Killer, and I felt like I was in this massive battle. I was working incredibly long hours. I had all these staff to keep happy, and everyone thinks it's amazing. We're blessed to have it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a beautiful, simple life, which is what I think sometimes it looks like. People allow themselves to imagine that it feels like on the outside. It's just not true. None of us are like this. I really, part of me is kind of building towards, I think we should launch a conference called Monkeys in Shoes, because we are all just monkeys in shoes, trying our best in our own battles. No one feels like they've sorted everything else out, and hopefully we move like what I feel we are. We're having more fun. We're doing more stuff that is more of ourselves that we're putting out. But at the same time, we're all still in this battle. We're all struggling. Tonight, probably the kids are going to come into our bed, and one of them will vomit, and I'll be scraping. Vomit out from between my seats in the car, and everyone thinks it's a nice car, but in the inside it stinks of vomit. That's kind of what's happening all the time. So I'm just echoing what you said, but I really enjoyed your talk. I was carry on.
Thank you. I want to come on and bounce off what Tim was saying about the fact that we are really enjoying ourselves recently. And what we've been doing with this mindset stuff, and with particularly Tim's absolutely loving, you know, all the massively creative marketing things at the moment. I don't know if you guys saw our April Fools on Sunday or whenever it was, where we had the unicorn horn and everything. That all came from Tim's brain. That stuff that we're doing right now, that we are progressing with, the reason we're doing it, I think, so well, and we're gathering momentum, and really, I hope, as my goal is to change the mindset of this whole industry. The reason I have got the kahunas to try that is because I'm playing from the meanness. Everything about this is from me and from Tim's heart and soul. And if I was looking too long at Raja Killer, although I don't compare myself to Raja Killer, but if I was spending too long looking at these other people, I wouldn't have time to get the me out into the world. And this is what I want to talk about. This is going to be the practical thing that you are going to take away from this. Make sure you take it away. I want you all to, in the comments now, do it. I want you to comment one thing that you like about yourself. Do it. I already know some of you guys have done this, have something you like about yourselves, because a few weeks ago we had this. Put something up that you like about yourself. So I'm going to go first. So I like my energy. I think I've got a lot to give in terms of sort of putting something across, because I do it with such a verve. So I like my energy. What do you guys like? And what I think is so incredibly powerful about saying this out loud and putting it on the comments of a Facebook Live for other people to see is it will cement it for you. And what I want you to do is I want you to communicate that to the world through your social media, through your marketing. Sorry, that sounded a bit like, oh God, I've got to communicate it to the world. That world, that's a bit scary. Just make sure from now to next week, and I'm going to hold you accountable, that you do one piece of marketing activity, which could just be a post or a picture or whatever on any of the platforms, that communicates, subtly is fine, the thing that you like about yourself. So say, for example, when I asked this the other day, a few people were saying things like they're super professional. One person, Kate, said that she was very organised. You have to put something that you like about yourself, step one. Step two, I want you to communicate that somehow through, it could be subtle or whatever, you don't have to do a cloud sign or something, but I want you to communicate that which is you and which is special to the world, to your business, to your audience. Because, and here's the magic, people, the less time that you can spend looking at Athena and thinking that she's got her shit together when really she's in a zoo in Tenerife, the more time that you will be able to spend telling the world about that which is special to you. And every single human being on the world has something special. You cannot deny that. And you need to focus on yourself and work out what is good about you and tell people. Fucking tell people. Don't try and emulate this cardboard cutout of a person that you've seen, that you're obsessing over because you went down a rabbit warren looking at someone else's competitor's website. Do and communicate what is special about you. And I use the word special. It's a bit tricky because you might say, well, there's nothing really special about me. Like, I'm not that special. I'm quite organised. I mean, okay, so I'm a layperson. I could be your client, okay? Are you organised? Right, then you are reliable. You are going to show up for me if something went wrong. You are going to be there for me. I trust you. I feel more safe in your zone than I do with some kind of crazy person who's, yeah, they've got amazing lip photographs, but actually, you know, do they actually pick up the phone? I'm going to feel so much more safe there. Absolutely, I really value good customer service. So, are you going to have great customer service? Are you going to be there for people afterwards? Are you going to have a bit of bants, you know? Like, don't put I'm a bants, you know, aesthetics practitioner, but if you can get your cheekiness out into your communications for your business, then so much the better. Because guess what's going to happen? All the cheeky people are going to be drawn to you. You have to, of course, show up consistently. It can't just be, you know, you're not going to suddenly get a load of the cheeky tribe in after one post. But do one post this week. Jump off that cliff. It's only a very small cliff. Work out what you like about yourself and then communicate it. What have we got?
We've got such a great list.
Oh, wonderful.
And what's interesting to me is how many of these are actually that you become aware of them through knowing people. Like Samuel's first, I think he's first unless I've lost some. My first comment I can see is Samuel saying, "I like my work ethic." I like your work ethic. I noticed it a long time ago with your amazing diagrams that you posted on the forum, and you've also done those polystyrene heads where you marked all the anatomy on. Like, it's already caught my eye. It's a real thing that's out there and has commercial value.
Yeah.
It's a weird link, but basically all these things have commercial value, which if you can tap into that instead of looking what you haven't got, the Bentley or whatever, and express them, it's really going to actually make a difference to your job. So we've got being creative. That's so important. That's probably one of the things I like about myself the most. Professionalism always gets mentioned in reviews. Whenever you read reviews, positive reviews, professionalism is right at the top for Gemma Hornsby. Jade, I like how much I care. Number one thing, probably connecting with people and caring with people. And also, I think the number one reason people don't get sued because they care. 100%. I always think you can probably be fairly crap and make mistakes, but really care, and people won't want to hurt you back. I'm not suggesting that's your strategy. Compassion, same thing, beautiful thing. That's so important. If you can convey that in your feed, that you are compassionate, eventually people will get the message and they will realize that, and that's such an attractive thing. My ability to teach, communication skills, that is, from Madalena. I'm a happy person. Oh my God, I think that's just the most amazing gift to call yourself a happy person. Being glamorous, you're made for Instagram, Nazia.
Get on there,
Nazia. My sense of humour as well, really good from Cass. I think that's so attractive as well if you can get that out. It's risky getting your sense of humour out. I've wanted to do an April Fool's joke for 5 years and I've been too scared to do it. So we did it this year with the unicorn one. We had another one which was a bit more controversial, maybe next year. But
and we got 32,000 views.
Yeah, more than that. It's about 40 now. Wow. But anyway, there's a risk with your sense of humour, but actually when you start to get it out, another doctor I really admire, Fab Acquisi.
Yes.
Now, if you follow Fab on Facebook or Instagram, he's not for everyone. Just prepare yourselves. He's not for everyone. He's got the filthiest sense of humour, but I love him. He's authentic. Oh. There is no one like Fab Acquisi. So he may polarize people. Not everyone likes his sense of humour, but the people who do like it, there's no one who can compete. Now, he sells Botox and fillers using a filthy sense of humour, basically, because he's got this incredible brand, but it's because he's authentic. So that's kind of one of the things we're also trying to do, which is be your authentic self. No one can copy that. Not everyone likes it, but the people who do like it will only go to you. Make a difference from Sue Lee's 100%. That's so important. That should be a driving force. Learning, that's going to keep powering you forward, Victoria. Caring and tolerant. All those, that's it. Yeah, that's the last one.
You missed Chica, Maria Farquhar, and...
I don't think I can see them all. Sorry. My enthusiasm. Yes, you can put that into your marketing. I tell you what, Natalie, I already said this about in terms of sales, that I have been sold some dental treatment because off the back of enthusiasm for what someone is capable of doing. Now it's so, if you've got enthusiasm, it's the greatest sales tool if you're appropriate at introducing it. This is actually what started happening to me, is actually I become really, please let me do your nose and your tear troughs because it's going to make such a difference. I bottle that a little bit. They can see that I'm excited. So enthusiasm is a very important thing as well.
Maria is thorough.
Yeah, and thorough, that's going to keep you safe, that's going to reduce. And tell you what patients love most of all is someone who's thorough. When they examine, mark up, we always notice this when a new doctor starts training with us and they're still doing all the stuff that you do on the foundation. People always go, that new doctor's really good, they're really thorough. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't do that. but all these things have commercial strength to them, and if you can start to exude them through your marketing, the people who are attracted by that kind of thing will come to you, and it's the truth, which is ultimately also the best form of marketing, because you won't be let down when you get through the other side of the door, because it's just the truth, it's just who you are.
Jane's a good listener.
Okay. Yeah, good listening also so high on my list of
empathy makes amazing everything.
Okay, that's great. Really lovely lists. I don't know if you want to close up. That was amazing.
I just want to close up, guys, by saying you are beautiful, wonderful people, and I want to honour you for knowing what you're good at. Now, get out there, and every time you catch yourself looking at Athena, looking at me on a beach in Cyprus, whatever, catch yourself and say, really? really? And get that energy, and just go. And think, I'm a good listener, I'm thorough, I care, I'm compassionate. And take one step to communicate that out to your clients, and you will have taken this ball of energy and thrown it in Athena's face. You are in control of your own mind. Make it happen. Get that peace. Get your dream, because you are the driver of your mind. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really value your time. Please let me know if there's any comments or anything you want to contribute, or maybe what you want for the next week's Facebook Live. Let us know. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.